The threat of terrorism by religious and political extremists on societies throughout the world is creating a new global landscape, where victory is not always measured by deploying superior forces onto a traditional battlefield. For America, the weapon of choice employed against this threat to international stability is a classified U.S. military force known as Special Operations Command, or SOCOM. The war on terror is a byproduct of the political tensions of the 21st century. For America's secret soldiers, who are currently deployed worldwide, modern battlefields can be about enforcing the peace as much as waging war.
You are now clear to engage the moving vehicle.
Afghanistan is a country the size of Texas, with over 20 million inhabitants. Bagram Air Base, 30 miles outside the capital city of Kabul, is the main staging area for Operation Enduring Freedom, a U.S.-led allied coalition in the war on terror. From here and smaller bases in the south, military operations search for remnants of the defeated Taliban and Al-Qaeda network in the first special operations-led war ever conducted by the United States.
We're not fighting artillery, we're not fighting tanks, we're not fighting face-to-face with an enemy. We're fighting with an enemy that is established here, and they're able to hide among the population.
Clusters of abandoned or destroyed mud brick houses stand silent. Wrecked vehicles litter the trails. Afghanistan is a land virtually destroyed after 25 years of war. To operate effectively here, U.S. Special Forces must depend on the cooperation of the local population.
They know their way around this whole area, so we can just say, hey, we need to go right here. And they'll say, okay, well, you can't go this way because there's mines. You can't go this way because the mountains are high and the Mujahideen always used to ambush people here. This is the best route.
Working with indigenous Afghan militia units of up to 120 strong, small teams of Special Forces commandos operate throughout Afghanistan. In this hostile terrain, American and Allied forces regularly come under fire.
You got danger everywhere you look. You got to keep your wits about you. Just because people aren't dying, people may think that this war is over. It's not.
It's never 100% safe. I'm down here wearing body armor, carrying 2 guns. So, I mean, anything could happen. You got a lot of people traveling through here. It's a major thoroughfare coming from and going to Pakistan. At any given time, somebody can drive by in one of these trucks and drop a grenade out the window. It happened just the other day.
With the Taliban defeated, Afghanistan is essentially ruled by a collection of rival tribal warlords and warring ethnic groups. Here at a fire base named Camp Harriman near Orgun, Special Forces adapt themselves to that reality.
Warlord probably is just another term for politician. The same thing that happens in politics across the world is happening here. You've got people who are in it for themselves, and you've got people who are in it for the team. You have to keep in mind what the focus of this mission is, and that is for us to eliminate Al-Qaeda. And a lot of times that has some dilemmas to it.
An old saying, to truly know your enemies, you must first become their friends. As far as the loyalties go, wherever the money's at is pretty much where they're going. They're following the money. And right now, the Americans are the big boys on the block. They got the most money, so that's where their loyalties are.
At the gates of Camp Harriman, everyone is carefully searched by American troops guarding the camp perimeter. The Green Berets know the enemy could be hiding in plain sight.
The police noticed a guy that was not from this area walking along the brick wall back there. They hollered out to him, tried to detain him. He just kind of jumped off the wall. They got in a semicircle around him. They were getting ready to detain him, take him into the police station. When they tried to detain him, he just smiled at him, pulled the pin, dropped the grenade. Grenade went off, and blew him back into there, and he fell down into the ditch.
The danger runs a whole spectrum of things, everything from unconventional type attacks to conventional type attacks, and we try to protect against pretty much anything the enemy can think of.
Special Forces constantly search for weapons to prevent their falling into the hands of local warlords. It is a task involving diplomacy and sometimes confrontation.
What you're looking at is a cache of arms that we've managed to recover from the warehouses in town. The big profit is that they take this stuff and they sell it in Pakistan. And the bad guys get it and shoot it right back at us. There's just hundreds of thousands of rounds here. You see over here we have the array of artillery pieces we took. And we've got rounds for all of them. It's just unreal how much is out here and how easy it is to get to.
We had an incident here a couple weeks ago where some kids had got a hold of some 12.7 millimeter rounds for a Russian heavy machine gun, and they were trying to disassemble them so they could sell the metal, and they had a little assembly line going up. Well, they got out of sequence, and the guy who punched the primer got a bullet that hadn't yet been disassembled. He punched the primer with a hammer, the bullet exploded and injured 3 of the children.
Special forces are, in effect, attempting to disarm a country where social status is measured by carrying a weapon.
In Afghanistan, it's believed that you are not a man unless you have a rifle. I confiscated an AK-47 from a man, and he flat out told me that if I go home without my rifle, my wife will laugh at me because I am no longer a man.
Confiscating these weapons earns the SF huge points from the locals, who continue to suffer daily from death and severe injuries. Landmines of every type and design are buried throughout Afghanistan, some dating back over 20 years.
You want landmines? We got landmines. These are anti-tank mines, Mark 7s. They're British. Mon 100, big anti-personnel mine. Anti-personnel mines, small Italian anti-personnel mine. Yugoslavian, Soviet, Chinese P-72s. This is Chinese too, anti-personnel mine. There's a small anti-personnel mine. Pakistani claymores. The amount that's here is just ridiculous. It's actually kind of sad when you think about, you see a lot of people missing one leg and stuff, and you realize where it came from. They've estimated that there are 2 landmines per every Afghan person.
Special forces live among the local populace to earn trust and help create civil stability. Teams learn the local culture, identify the key political and military players, and study the terrain. Their beards and relaxed physical appearance are designed to reduce attention.
All right.
Uniform changes based on the situation.
Big target, boys. Bring it up.
That's the bottom line. Sometimes it's for operational security reasons that we're trying to blend into the population. Sometimes it's because we have to look more like some of our conventional forces. We're adaptable. This is not a conventional war. We have to be able to change it as we see fit.
You want to fit in with the community you're with their culture, and their culture is about having a beard. So we have a beard and we blend in.
Acting on intelligence from an informant, Green Berets stop and remove 2 men from their vehicle on a public street. The situation is potentially tense.
Search him.
The Americans move smoothly but assertively, employing a minimum show of force. The 2 suspects are escorted to a vehicle for transportation back to the firebase, where they will undergo further questioning. It is a delicate balance between public relations and safety. The special forces know that these 2 men may be innocent people, victims of rumor or false witness. But intelligence is the lifeblood of the Green Berets' war on terror in Afghanistan, and no information goes ignored.
When the Russians were here, when they interrogated people, they beat them up, they shot them, they shot their kids, they shot their families, so it was very easy to get information. Most of the time it's hard to get any information or weapons, ammo from them because, for one, they're scared that whoever they're holding the weapons and ammo for is going to retaliate, and the other is they know that the Americans aren't going to harm them.
With no schools, no hospitals, and no service infrastructure, central government influence outside of Kabul is virtually non-existent. Often the Green Berets are the only Americans these locals have ever seen, and the soldiers are keenly aware that the local population is watching their every action, deciding if the Americans are trustworthy.
We come in and we tell them, hey, don't be scared. You don't have to be scared. We're here. We're not going to leave you. You communicate with them. You eat with them. Express to them the benefits of education, health, civil affairs, and it makes people trust you.
Our big push was getting girls into school. It's a culture thing. We have to get the people educated. I don't want my child coming over here having to fight the same war that I did.
Living in the middle of an area so close to the Pakistan border presents many dangers, Despite the risks of sudden Al-Qaeda attacks, the cornerstone of the Special Forces mission depends on preserving their credibility to the local population.
I'm thinking this guy's from maybe Pakistan. If this guy is not good, then maybe they have something.
They recognized him as an outsider. They knew he didn't belong
They
here,
have
right?
something. They came like that. I don't know.
Hands behind his back, hiding something.
The people that live around here are our first line of defense. They'll let us know if something bad's going to happen, if at all possible.
If the kids are hanging around, you know, the adults feel that the threat level's not that high at that time. These guys are like a parent anywhere. They're not going to let their kid get hurt. So if they know that something's not right, they're going to get their kids off the street. We spend money in their shops. I might come down here buy paint from one vendor 4 or 5 times. Next time I come down here to spend some money, buy some paint or some chicken wire or something from him for our camp, he might give me a little tidbit of information that leads us to a weapons cache up in the mountains or whatever.
Our main mission, of course, is to hunt the Al-Qaeda, find them, capture them, kill them, whatever it may be. We do not speak the language. We don't know what they look like. The local people know who the foreigners are, the people that don't belong in their communities, and they come up to you and they tell you where they're at, what they're doing, where the weapons are. We're going to walk down this way. I just came by to say hi.
Usually it's a lot more crowded than this. You come down here about midday. There's tons of people out here, a lot of kids. And these nuts that come over from Pakistan, they don't care. They'll drop a grenade right here in front of all these kids. They're just trying to hurt us, but it won't bother them if they hurt, you know, if they hurt these kids. We've got a little shopping mall type deal in there. You can go in there and buy tennis shoes and all that shit. Oh, and this one, good God almighty, boy, who cut your hair? You are fine? You have a pen? I am fine. You speak English? No. You go to the school? Good, stay in school. School is important.
It is a personal relationship. You have to get personal with these people because you need their trust. And with that trust comes understanding. They learn more about how we operate. We learn more about how they do things, and it's all personal.
The real reason I'm down here is what we call rapport building. Just getting out, talking to people, letting them know I'm here, letting them know the U.S. is here, find out what their problems are, whether it be Wells, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, bandits, any problems they have. I listen to them, and then I bring them back to the compound, and I send it up to the chain of command. All these buildings are brand new. You can see the glass is brand new, the doors are brand new. This village is back alive. Little stores. This is brand new, Billiards. You guys come check this out. One game. No problem. All game playing when the Taliban were here was not allowed. They weren't allowed to play any sports. Any
is not allowed.
Yeah, wasn't allowed to play any of this stuff. Since we've been here.
Said it's not good.
It's not good, but it's good, huh?
It's good. I like it.
Yeah. Hey.
I think that the word has gotten out that the Americans are here to help out, so they come to us with information about weapons caches, armed caches, information about Al-Qaeda, and we use that information and exploit it as best we can.
Okay.
Centuries of tribalism and ethnic rivalries have bred generations of people born into war. Tribal divisions make loyalty to a central authority inherently difficult. The SF is attempting to forge the nucleus of a national army among a people with no tradition of national authority.
The Afghan soldiers that we have working with us, they're drawn here for various reasons. Some of them are motivated by bettering themselves in their lives monetarily. Some of them are motivated to honestly try and help out their country. That's the challenge of us as trainers and leaders of them, is to determine who's able to do the mission and who's not.
Soldiers, follow your instructors. Stay on to check your targets.
You've got guys who are born to go out and kill people, and there's guys that are not. Those that need further training, we do that. We train them up to standard.
Pretty much the entire culture here is real flowery, like with the jingle trucks. You can feel some of the dump trucks around here, and they got bells and stuff hanging off of them, and it goes as far as down to the guy's rifle. I got a guy out there who carries 2 little, they're like Christmas bells, real small bells, 2 of them hanging off the barrel of his rifle, and they jingle around when he moves the weapon. They are soldiers in the fact that You know, they're here fighting for a cause. They'd rather just mill around as opposed to being in